Welcome, Uncle. We have a special guest today. I'm not going to say his name yet. We're going to do a little surprise. So the title from this, actually, it's kind of corny, but I'm going to go with it. From Pacoima to Power Moves. From the tough streets of Pacoima to the prestigious Boston University. And then, if I remember correctly, I believe this is what happened. Early retirement via Silicon Valley. It's about, kind of the journey, the pressure that you felt, sacrifice, maybe even giving up a little bit of your identity in a new place. And of course, making it out of, AKA your hood, or making it out of your situation to be successful. So Uncle, as always, pour yourself a drink if you got one, or play it straight if you, whatever you want to do. Because as always, I have my uncle right here, my co-host, who also, has ties because my guest is from Pacoima, and Uncle Louis is also from Pacoima. So
yes, sir,
this matching up perfect. So let's get into it, Unc, on a very special Gentleman's Hour.
Hey man, get to it. Just drop the intro.
All right, so as I teased, we have a special guest. This is my cousin, second cousin actually, Mark Castrita. Welcome, Mark, to the show.
Hello.
How you doing? So as you can tell, this is kind of your story, but it's also kind of how everybody. I mean, even Louis made it out of Pacoima. You know what I mean? It's kind of a how-to story to see how to make it out. Oh, you got kicked out, huh? There, you not lost back. You lost your card, huh? Okay, so just real quick, Mark, if you can kind of give me just like background. We're cousins. My mom and your dad are first cousins. You grew up in Pacoima.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, first we're related through our grandmothers. Our grandmothers were sisters, right. And you and I actually, didn't interact that much. We saw each other at parties. We didn't play together. We were the same exact age. But yes, we are cousins. And the older we got, actually, it wasn't. It was only like the last couple of years that really we talked. We connected. And I wish we would have done that a lot sooner.
But can I cut in real quick? Why do you think? Because you brought up a good point. Because I think I mentioned that to Louis too. Is like we're the exact same age. When's your birthday? I think aren't we like a month apart?
September.
Yeah. So we're literally a month apart. Our parents, I'm pretty sure our parents were pretty close. Growing up.
Yeah, they were
pregnant at the same time. Like, how were we not closer? But I remember you always growing up. But you're right. Like we never played together. We were always together at big family parties. But I don't ever remember like moments where we were like personally interacting and playing, maybe as a group or something. But why do you think that is? That's kind of
it's part of my genealogical research just on a family in general, and I think that's because we were isolated. We were in Pacoima, and everybody else wasn't. Mm-hmm. So my grandma and my grandfather moved to Arleta, but it was Pacoima back then. It's the same post. It's all the same.
Yep.
Arleta, Pacoima, Lakeview Terrace. It's all one. It's all the same post office. It's all the same zip code. And so I think because we were that part of the family. I don't want to say like we were the. I kind of do want to say we were the family that lived in Pacoima, and the rest of the you guys didn't. Like Granada Hills, Mission Hills. That for us was like, oh man, this is nice over here. Like, how come we don't get invited anymore?
Man, we don't have a Trader Joe's.
And so I think that was a part of it. We didn't see you guys as much because just not we were isolated. I think it was just a distance thing.
Yeah.
And it's always the maternal side. Like at least for me, it was always my mom's side of the family I was closer to.
Okay.
Right. I was closer to. So all my cousins on my mom's side and all my second cousins on my mom's side, I knew really well. We spent more time there. We spent more holidays there.
Okay.
So on my dad's side, is actually my dad's side is not even as big as my mom's side. So I think that was with a couple of reasons. We spent more time on my mom's side. I think from my research, it's usually that way. You spend more time at your maternal, family, grandparents' place. So I think for you, it would have also been the same, right? Because your mom, no, it was your mom. Yeah, your mom is, yeah. So your Aunt Susan is right. Okay, I always have to go in my head and figure out.
Yeah, so do I.
It's
I
all
would do
these
it too.
nights in my head.
Yeah.
That is sort of why I think. I mean, I want to
Yeah.
know why you think. I mean, I could ask my dad. My dad was
Yeah.
also kind of okay, like this. If you asked your mom how my dad was when he was in his 20s and 30s, she probably would say he was kind of weird.
See,
Um,
I don't know. I
only
yeah.
say
Go
that
ahead.
because like he tried every drug. He was into.
I wasn't
He
gonna
had
say it, but since you're
he had long hair.
yeah,
It was the late 70s, and
right.
he was living, man. He was living.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
because when I think about your family, my family in that way, um, I just think, yeah, nobody was as weird as my dad probably growing up. Now, I think when they were kids, they were close because they,
Right.
that's what happens. But I think there must have been a point when maybe my dad first started, like he had his first joint or whatever, that he just got, he's, my dad. He's just, he's out.
Yeah. But see
Um,
so see, I don't take it as I always, like even I've heard my mom just everybody describes your dad as like I've never heard anybody say a bad thing about him. You know, what I mean? Maybe that goes on with he's had that kind of carefree. But every time I've had a conversation with dad, I always walk away smiling. Like I
yeah,
think your dad is cool as hell, someone you could
yeah.
relate to, someone you could talk to. Like but I guess I could kind of see how maybe he seems a little more like quiet. I don't know about
Quiet.
weird. But,
So I'll explain him like
okay.
this, Uncle Louis.
Okay.
If I can paint a picture, Chong, Tommy Chong. I mean, just like long hair, smoking weed, really just relaxed, cool, collected no matter what.
Just a
Just
cool dude. Yeah.
going
It's
with
just
the
a,
flow. His nickname in when he was young was Monster, and I think it's because he just had this long, heavy hair, but he was also just quiet. No, he wasn't a big guy, but
yeah.
everybody called him Monster. Um, everybody on your side calls him Mark, right?
Yeah. Explain that because I always grew up. He was Mark, but then everyone's like, no, his actual name is Jess. So it's
Yeah.
like, what is it? But then you're Mark. Are you Jess too, or no? You're actually
No,
your
well,
person is Mark.
I'm Mark. So
Okay.
his name is just Mark. And my
Okay.
name is Mark Jess. Um, oh, he's a junior, right? My dad was my grandpa was a Jess, who was Jesus, but everybody calls him Jess. So they started calling everybody called on that side of the family. They called my dad Mark because that was his middle name to differentiate. But then he had a Mark, so now it's every time we go to functions, I hear my name, but you guys are referring to him, and then it's on the opposite. It's well, no, on my mom's side it's different. On my mom's side, it's they got it right on my mom's side.
Okay. Yeah, because I would hear my mom say, "Oh, my cousin Jess." I'm like, "I never. Who is this?" And she's like, and she would point to or show him, and I'm like, "No, that's Mark." I thought she's like,
Yeah.
well, it's complicated. We call him Jess now, but it was Mark. But either way, he's a cool dude. Your mom is a character too. I mean, same thing. I've never heard anybody say anything bad about your mom. Your mom now, I would say, is kind of out there, but in a totally just the most perfect, fantastic way. She makes you laugh.
Yeah.
She you can't walk away not smiling after talking to your mom. How was it like? I mean, I don't want to jump into this. Supposed to be just the intro, but how was it growing up with them? And who do you think you took after more of your dad or more of your mom, or maybe a combo?
I want to say, well, my mom and dad are opposites. I think that's why they're together and they've been together forever. As you know, like you could just see them; they're just complete opposites.
Yeah.
I think I have my dad's demeanor. Like I don't have my mom's energy, for sure. If she were on here right now, she'd be all over the place, and it would be fun. And I'm not saying I'm not that kind of fun. So My dad's calm, cool collectiveness, I think has helped me. I think I got that from him for sure. And then, from my mom, I think it's just like sort of a never giving up spirit and always being positive, like just looking at things in positive light.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're right. I can't imagine. I'm sure, of course, everybody's gone through tough times or sad, but like, I don't think I've ever seen her, and I'm sure you have, but I've never seen her, down, or she lights up a room. I adore your mom is dope as hell. And
yeah, I do want to say, I mean, I like you, Paul, and I do lament the fact. I do lament the fact that we didn't connect much sooner. Like,
right.
And maybe it wouldn't have worked out. I don't know. Maybe we were both assholes or dicks.
Well, no, see, and that's why. But you brought up earlier. You said, "What did you think?" And so it's like the same thing, because I think I was talking to Desiree maybe after either like the basketball after one of her initial meeting you. And she was like, "Oh, your cousin's cool. Everybody always has good things to say about you two. You're well spoken, nice, whatever." So she was like, "How come I've never like heard of this cousin, or I've never seen him at any?" And I was like, "Well, actually, they're a second cousin." And I'm like, I don't know, like we weren't, but I wasn't that close to a lot of like the second cousin. Probably the closest I am to right now is Julia Campos, but that's because we work together. But other than that, I was trying to think, and I was like, I don't really know of second cousins. I'm not really that close. And you're right. I was closer to more like either my dad's side or my immediate mom's side. And, it's hard. There's so many dang kids, but you're right, because we have so much in common. Same age, it's like you would think. But what I do remember is I remember going to your graduation party after you graduated, from high school. I graduated too. And I remember going to your party. And I remember just seeing you there, and you were like so carefree and cool. I don't know if we even talked over there, but I just remember kind of admiring your personality, because as I gotten older, I enjoy more of like a carefree, cool personality, people that can talk, whatever, So I kind of thought the same thing. I don't know why it just seems like we were never together at the same time. And if we ever were hanging out, it was always in big groups. We never had a chance to really kind of, get together and play, I guess. I don't know what leads to a friendship among kids or,
you're right.
or being close, but yeah. And it's the weird thing is me and Louis also just connected, but that was a totally different thing because, he's my uncle, which that's
so I want to ask about that. How is he your uncle?
It's a Pacoima thing, I guess. I don't know. You explain it, Louis.
How are you related, Uncle Louis?
Well, go ahead, Louis.
Basically, his dad is my brother. My dad was married and he had 6 kids. One of them being Paul's dad, and then they got divorced, and he married my mom, and then they had my sister and me. So I remember Paul when I was little, because I'm 46, so he's got a couple years on me.
Yeah.
And I remember being little and going over to one of the first houses, I guess, out in like Palmdale or Lancaster. And then I guess his parents got divorced, and I just never saw him again. I knew of him and his sister. I never saw him again, and we didn't reconnect until about like maybe 3 years ago, right? Something like that.
Yeah, it just randomly, just weird.
Yeah, randomly, and now it's just kind of the same thing where I'm like, I wish I would have known him when I was younger.
Yeah. Okay, so then I want to know the origin story then of the Gentleman's Hour. Then then you reconnected 3 years ago. And now here you are with 40, however many episodes. Like, how did that come about?
You were a year in. Go ahead, tell it, Louis.
We like you said, we reconnected here at my house. We had a little like a beer tasting with one of my brothers, and they stayed behind. We just hit it off. It was like, just the back and forth was crazy. And then I think we met up at another party at my sister's, which is his aunt, and then we started talking, and then I knew he was doing the podcast. And he told me, he goes, "Do you want to get on? And maybe we'll give our little backstory of how we reconnected and what it gets to know you." And then it just became a weekly thing where it just kind of took off.
I don't even think we planned out. It's kind of like, "You want to do this again next week? Yeah, let's do it. All right."
Yeah,
before you do it, I'm like, "Hey, bro, we've been doing this for a year." Yeah,
it's funny because like
really successful beer tasting then. Like,
for sure. We went 30 plus years of not talking.
Yeah.
And
But
now
not
it's like,
not talking. Just we didn't have the opportunity. Like me and Mark. Like I haven't
I mean,
seen
we
Mark
just didn't.
either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. But it's like to me, it's hard to it's hard to comprehend because I'm like, how is it that we no communication whatsoever to being so like back and forth, like where I can tell him something and it'll make fun of, well, he'll crack a joke or he'll do the same thing with me, and I'm like, dude, it's
We
like
have this-
uncanny, bro. I can't even.
We have the same sense of humor, and we were like, that's what.
Yeah.
And then over beers, that always helps. And we were like, hey, well, how come we don't hang out more, man? You're funny, bro. And we just ended like that. But yeah. All right, let's get. I want to get to the some information out of you, Mark. You're our guest. We don't, like you said earlier, we don't have that many, so we got to take advantage. So. First question, this is kind of getting to know you. So, Mark, when you hear the word Pacoima or you hear somebody say Pacoima, the town, what's the first thing that pops into your mind?
Pride. Like I feel with pride.
Okay.
Like, I'm proud to be from Pacoima. Like I don't know anything else. It formed me. I was, I wasn't born there. We moved around up until I was maybe first grade, and then we moved into that house in Pacoima. So it was Arleta. It was all the way. We moved to Oregon for a year. Oh, so second grade.
I didn't know that.
So from second grade, yeah. So I lived at that house on Wiedner Street in San Fernando Road, the dirt road, the only dirt road in freaking LA County, LA City, I should say. From second grade through high school.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
but
pride.
That's cool.
Pride is the
Pride.
word.
Yeah. Hey, you hear that, Louis? See, Louis trying to get away from Pacoima. You hear that? Pride.
What are you talking about?
I just. Louis also is the same. He has a lot of pride for Pacoima.
Homeboy.
Yeah. Oh, here it's gonna come out. Okay. How about this? Okay. Well, you obviously said Pacoima still feels like home, and not just a place you live, but kind of a vibe or a feeling. So when you go back there, you instantly feel that. It's like, okay, do you feel like I'm back home, or do you feel like a visitor? Like, man, this isn't where I grew up. This is totally different now.
I feel super comfortable there, no matter what part of Pacoima I'm in, no matter what time of day or night.
Okay, all right.
And I think there's a sense of nostalgia that just fills me, and so I live in Orange County now, and every chance that I get that I'm sort of in the neighborhood, there's not a lot of our family anymore that lives there. Maya Linda lives still in Pacoima. Vince is in Arleta, but that's Pacoima, like I said. And so, and they're even the guys, the boys from the hood, they're not on the street anymore. Maybe one or two. My kids, sometimes I'll take them around and say, "Hey, this is the house I grew up. This is my grandma's house. This is this." But they don't understand. Like, they just like, "Oh, okay, that's cool," and then we'll just go to my mom's.
Just another place you're driving through. Yeah.
So yeah, so yes, I will go back and just look at all the landmarks. Look at how things have changed. Like I said, I grew up on a dirt road, and it wasn't until I graduated from college that it finally got paved. My mom complained to the city for years, and we knew the councilman, and we knew, like, she was going often and saying, "How come you haven't paved our city, or paved our street?" And I held that as like as a badge of honor. Like, yeah, we're the street, because I literally grew up on a dirt road. I figured out how to ride a skateboard on a dirt road, right? So, I learned how to ollie on a freaking on dirt. So if it sort of always comes back to me is that if I can make it there, I can make it anywhere. It's the New York kind of mentality. So that's what I get. I sort of get recharged. I get recharged when I go to Pacoima. Now, I will say, there's also a side that things that haven't really improved that makes me sad. Things that makes me like, oh man, like that street. There's a million cars parked on that street, and half of them are not even running, or you'll see houses that are just beat up and beat down.
You're right.
So I still see that too. I don't see a lot of improvements. And that also, I have both. I get recharged because I'm in my a place of my roots, but at the same time, it's like, dang, it
You
hasn't
want to
really
see it.
improved that
Right,
much. Yeah.
right, right.
Yeah.
Do you think, just kind of a little side question, but do you think there is hope for, I mean, because it's an old, how long has it been there? Like you said, there was dirt roads. I mean, this is an old neighborhood. Do you think
Yeah.
there's hope for, I mean, and really, how do you know what I mean? Because it's more economic. You need to bring money in, but then you kind of
Yep.
lose a little bit of that flavor, a little bit of that, what made it
Yeah.
Pacoima, what's your
Pacoima,
opinion on
so
that?
I mean, I guess to explain Pacoima, if you've never been there, things that it's a suburb of LA. Probably a it's a forgotten suburb, right? Not a lot of money is put into city and utilities and like I said, the streets, and so it's really hard to you know if somebody who had never been to LA. Oh, I'll say it this way: I used to work with a lot of people from India, because I was an engineer, and that's just the demographics. Demographics are they skew Asian, they skew Indian, and I always used to relate to them because I thought, oh, you guys are from a third world country. Hey, I'm from Pacoima. That's like a third world country. And so I would relate to them. I was like, yeah, you grew up in,
Right.
But something that I learned, and it took me maybe 10 years, that those guys actually probably grew up in better neighborhoods than I did.
You think?
Yeah, I think because actually, if you're coming over with, on an engineering visa, you had education, you had,
Okay.
you
Right,
probably
right.
had, there's a caste system and everything. So I had to learn all
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
probably had servants, and so it didn't click in my head. I was like, oh, you guys are brown. I'm
Right,
brown.
right.
I grew up in dirt.
You're poor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But turns out, no, they
They
actually grew
were.
up a lot better than I did. And I grew up in the freaking United States,
Yeah. So,
that
but
was a
that kind
big
of
thing.
that kind of tells you that, over here though there's maybe better opportunity you can come from, because if you say some of the poor, I know there's probably down south, and there's probably I've heard some really really bad rural poor areas, but Pacoima, it's pretty poor, and I would think you grew up there, you kind of you look at it as a long shot of getting out. And I know India is super poor too, but
Yeah.
maybe I know off of that. What was that movie? It was the kid that won the lottery, Slumdog Millionaire. So remember where they started? I mean, they were like, they
Yes.
were scavenging. I don't know how true that was, but I assume it's pretty true. They were scavenging for food. I mean, that's poor. I don't
Yes.
think you guys were, digging through trash, but
Yeah.
same. I see what you're saying, and you're right. I think India too. I'm like, oh, they probably grew up poor too, but you're right. It is a different system over there, and you're not getting out over there unless you're probably come from wealth, or you come from something. What do you think, Louis, about that? You think the same way about Pacoima? You view the same way as Mark does?
You know what? I want to say yes, but I mean, obviously we've had a totally different upbringing and a totally different life. But I do get what he's saying, because yeah, it's crazy, because I remember that I don't think I went down that dirt road, but there was a because I grew up on near Van Nuys and Laurel Canyon on Penny Street.
Yeah. Okay.
And my mom still lives there, and I remember on Amboy, like right before Paxton, it was dirt.
Yep.
And it was crazy because like I remember I'd ride my bike, and it was like, my dad would tell me, don't go there because you're gonna get a flat, because there's always broken glass and whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool. So I would avoid it, and I make a right or I make a left. But yeah, I remember when they paved that road. I remember when we got Van Nuys traffic lights in front of my parents' house. It was always the darkest street.
Yep.
Even now they don't have street sweeping. Every street has street sweeping except theirs, and I'm just like, but yeah, I mean, and I do get that the you can get stuck being there because of the environment. It's so easy to run with the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
You might not want to, but when you grow up with these kids and they take a right and you take a left, and then you go back to them and they're, whatever, and it's so easy to get caught up, and you're stuck, and you might not see the big picture of getting out. You know what I mean? And
especially young, yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, I mean, if you're dealing with the Indians and you're thinking they're coming from a third world, yeah. But yeah, obviously they came here with a purpose, and they came here with an education, and you have an education and you're doing big things with them, but that's not it. And that, like, there's so many people that just didn't, bro, because, they just got stuck in there. Like,
Yeah.
I go back and I still see people from when I was younger and they're still chilling on the block. Like,
That's crazy.
I mean, they're happy, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uncle,
What
do you remember the
Oh,
dirt
boy.
jump on El Dorado? Do you remember there was
which
a
one?
couple of little dirt jumps for people who ride their bikes? El
On
Dorado,
El Dorado,
and-
no, because
no,
El Dorado still had that dirt alleyway, right?
they still had the dirt alleyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't grow up too far from there. I grew up on like right on the corner. There was an ice cream store, a paleteria, that was right off the freeway, off ramp. So Wiener Street
Yeah,
was
I think it's a pool house now or something, right?
yeah. There's pool hall there. Yeah. Yeah, that's where I
Dang.
grew up. And you're right, they paved all the streets except for ours up until like
It's weird.
2005 or something like that. Yeah, it was really
Like, they
odd.
forgot, like, they skipped one block. They skipped another block. And I'm like,
How do they just miss a block?
yeah.
So what do you, okay, this may be for both of you guys. What is something about Pacoima that people get completely wrong? Or maybe something you guys hear, like maybe a stereotype that you're like, it's not exactly true. Is there anything like that?
I mean, I think that something that people get wrong about Pacoima is that nothing good comes out of Pacoima.
Your Van Nuys.
Uncle Louis kind of mentioned it that, once you get in, it's not once you get in, when you're in it, it's really hard to figure out a way to get out. But there have been many who have gotten out
Your Van Nuys.
and many who have given back, many who continued still to try to improve things. So there's just a lot of notable people that every time I meet them, I'm like, oh, okay, yes, you're from Pacoima too. Again, the pride comes back, and it's sort of like I can connect. And so it warms my heart to think that you can grow up in that kind of environment and be successful.
Van
Yeah,
Nuys.
Uncle Louis?
Yeah. I mean, kind of the same thing. I just think anything that's negative, and if they dwell on just the negative, I mean, you can go for days of what you're gonna encounter. But at the heart of it, I think there's a community. There's a strong community. There's a lot of older generation families that have been there forever. Like I said, my mom and dad, they bought a house there in like 73, I think, and they've just been there. And their neighbors, the only reason they're not there is because they passed away.
Right.
And the kids sold the house and got new neighbors.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the heart of it. So I would say if you think that just because you hear bad stories and it doesn't have a heart, it does have a heart, and there's a strong community. Yeah.
You watch TV or you watch definitely the news. You look up Pacoima, and then it's everything, murder and crime, and it sucks. And then you hear things on TV. You're talking about stereotypes, and it's like if they're talking about crime or whatever, there might be a crime scene, and they might mention Pacoima. That sucks. I was camping in trying to remember, south of Sequoia, some really trashy camping campground. Like, my son was still really young, so it might have been almost 17 years ago. And
Wow.
this is Sequoia. This is not even, we're out of the city. We're in the city.
Right.
And all these bikers are hanging out there. We picked the wrong campground, but it didn't have to do it. It felt like kind of like Pacoima, and I mentioned that to my mom. My mom was just laughing. She was like, "Yeah, those bikers were partying all night. They didn't even have tents. They just slept on the tent. We woke up in the morning. Right? We got up. We went for a hike, and I remember I had Zach. I had a little pack with him, and to get to the trail, you had to go over a bridge, and the bridge is where people were coming in to find their campsite.
Right.
But you could already tell, like, it was, once you start driving, you can already tell there's trash everywhere, and it's just like, and so there's this truck that stops, and sort of scooting over because it's a bridge, and he stops, he looks at me, he goes, "Hey, do you know where Pacoima is?" Like, sarcastically.
What are the odds?
And I was And I mean, I kind of knew exactly what he was talking about, but there was no way that he knew I was from there, right? So I just said,
Right.
yeah. And then I just kept walking. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I know where it's at.
But, and then I was like,
but
what did he
okay,
say? You know, my wife was like, what did he say? And I was like, yeah.
yeah.
And my mom called it. She's like, yeah, this is kind of what Pacoima is. But again, I was just affected because, like, damn, this is how people not from there, or maybe he was from there. I don't know.
Right.
It wasn't written on my face. I wasn't, it's not all tattooed on. He just mentioned it, and I was like, oh man, I gotta, yes, I know where it is. I know what you mean. It's right here. Pacoima campground.
But that's
So yeah, that negative connotation. I mean, it always gets me. I always try to put my my best foot forward and represent in a way that that's positive.
Exactly. The more people speak out that are positive, that have kind of made it out, I think that's a good. I don't know if it'll ever change the perception of Pacoima, but it helps. Every little bit helps. Something else I want to ask. So like, and this kind of for both of you as well. When you guys are young, and you said growing up, Louis mentioned that it can be hard to not get caught up in a lot of stuff the younger kids are doing, whatever, gangs, just being bad, smoking, drinking, whatever. As young kids, maybe, 12, 15, high school, whatever, what did success look like to you guys? Did you guys both have a thought that, hey, I want to get out of here, I want to make it, I want to go to college, I want to become an electrician, become whatever? Did you guys have a vision, or were you just kind of living life and then it just kind of happened that Mark, you fell in whatever, I have a chance to go to college, I'm going to do that. Louis, I'm going to go ahead, I know you mentioned you had Cass and it was like, okay, I got to start getting serious, and I got to I want to be successful for her. As kids, did you guys have a vision of what success or making it was, or did it kind of just happen? If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. What I wanted to be when I was 12, I wanted to be Christian Hosoi. I want to be a skateboarder. I wanted to be Tommy Guerrero. I want to be Tony Hawk. And I couldn't because I was on a freaking dirt road.
And that's your excuse.
Yeah, that's my excuse.
Good. It's a good one. It's a good one.
But I the kids on the block were all of the same stupid stuff that I was, and being the oldest, sort of both, of our families. There wasn't, as far as cousins, I'm one of the oldest actually, I'm the second oldest on both sides of my family.
Okay.
And then, my mom and dad graduated from high school. But my mom's side, I don't think anybody else did. And I have 7 aunts and uncles on my mom's side. So there weren't a lot of positive influences, or not positive. I couldn't see anywhere past just graduated from high school.
Right.
My dad maybe went to Pierce College for a bit, but he dropped out. Well, actually, he his girlfriend got pregnant, and so that was me.
Okay, I was like, wait. I was like, what are you saying here? Okay.
So revelations are coming out.
The aspirations, I had none. Because I didn't know, there was nobody showing me anything. But there were some programs in school. So I went to Telfair Elementary. Did you go there?
I went Telfair, Pacoima, and San Fernando.
Same thing. Telfair Elementary, Telfair Tigers, through 6th grade, and then Pacoima Junior High, 7 through 9, and then San Fernando High School. Obviously, I graduated from there. But I think the turning point was I think there's 2 reasons. One, I had two parents who were, I had a pretty stable home environment, if I could say it like that. Some of the other kids on the block didn't.
Yeah.
And so my mom would just kick my ass if I did something. If I got caught, she'd kick my ass. And so I think that was one of the things, is that I had a stable home. And actually, our house became, a magnet for a lot of my friends. A lot of my friends, were really comfortable coming over, sometimes too comfortable. But they give credit to my mom and dad for actually helping them.
Yeah.
If they ever needed it. My parents' door was always open.
Yeah. I could tell. Yeah.
And so that stability sort of helped me with the second part, which was I didn't go to the junior high that I should have. We were in the district to go to San Fernando. We were in the San Fernando Junior High district because there's like there's lines. And because my dad went to Pacoima, and for some reason my mom thought San Fernando Junior High was not as safe. She said, you have to go to Pacoima Junior High. So we used my grandma's address and I went there. All the friends from the block went to San Fernando Junior High. And, when you're 12, 13, hormones are kicking in and the birth of rap music, people are getting into the violent activity. And it did turn into gangs. So a lot of those kids who went that way turned into gangs. So that was like a fork in my life where I went to Pacoima Junior High and actually I was doing so well. I was in a magnet program, right? So, I tested high for whatever they test you and they say, oh, you need to be in these special classes. And then I went to Pacoima Junior High and I was acing everything. Like junior high was so easy. So much so my mom walked me back into school and said, he's passing out, yeah. So she made them put me in the harder classes.
That's good though. Yeah.
Like, thanks a lot, Mom. But because of that, I ended up basically making friends with the other smart kids of the class and sort of it became a cohort, right? So from 7th grade all the way to high school, I had a group of friends who were, that was sort of my people. I found my people, right?
Yeah.
And these were the geek. I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. They were geeky kids. They were nerdy kids.
I'm gonna sugarcoat.
And we were scared to hell of the other kids, the kids that are from my block. Luckily, so I had my home friends who were lots of fun in different ways, and then I had my school friends. But I think because of that environment that you were sort of to build with those friends, it was competitive. That it wasn't really until maybe I got to 11th grade where I thought, okay, maybe I can go to college. I didn't know what that meant.
Oh wow, it was that late. Did your parents were they pushing that or were they just kind of no? They were just hey, go to school.
Again, they didn't know. They didn't know what college was. They didn't know. Nobody in our family had gone.
Right.
There was one person who married a cousin. He had his PhD in I forget what it is. But that was it. It was like, oh man, that's the smartest guy we've ever met. And so, but I never, I never really spoke to him or anything, but that was like, he was the smartest guy in the family. They ended up getting divorced. So, that's, I'm trying to think. So there was no, do I say it like this? Yeah. My mom and dad didn't push me. They just said, you got to get good grades. But there was no plans for me. I think my dad probably thought, hey, if you graduate, then you can work for the water and power. So that's the thing with our family. The Castrita side, everybody worked for the water and power, the water side.
That's
my grandfather worked there.
On Louis' side, everybody is HVAC pretty much, huh? A bunch of cousins.
That's pretty much LUSD.
Yeah, LUSD.
All right, there you go. So I think that's made it's not like there was a grand plan for me. My parents were young when they had me, so I don't blame them for not really not thinking ahead. They were, right. If you look at it this way, they were just trying to survive. Because I wasn't the only one growing up in Pacoima. They were actually trying to raise a family in Pacoima. So survival was their thing.
And survival wasn't necessarily you going to college. It was just making sure you made it through. You made it alive through. I get that.
I was driven by my friends, by my. So I had friends who were good influences, and I had friends who were bad influences. I love them both. I love both of those kinds of friends. But the ones who were the good influence, the more competitive ones from a school perspective, was why I applied to college, because everybody else was doing it. And it was why I actually checked the engineering box. I didn't know what an engineer was. I couldn't explain it. I could barely explain it when I graduated with an engineering degree. So just because my friends were doing it, I did it.
Yeah. But hey, so sometimes it's the community, it's the group of friends you hang with that ends up kind of pushing you towards. What about you, Louis? Because I know the same kind of thing. I don't think you said your dad or mom didn't really necessarily push you towards college.
There's some similarities in his story, especially regarding my sister, because my sister had kind of the similar.
That's right.
The similar influence, because she was very smart. She got bussed out of Telfair, went to Vina, went to Sepulveda for magnet, went to San Fernando for magnet, graduated, and she kind of like said the same thing, that her peers pushed her because they were doing stuff, and she's like, well, I got to do it too. You know what I mean? And with me, my like you said, my parents only addressed it when they needed to address it. If I got an F, then they let me have it. Blah blah blah. I got caught up with something, they let me have it. So I just knew I needed to get B's and C's just to get by. And I'm fairly smart. I never applied myself. I had really no drive. I was like, just kind of like getting by every day, as long as my report card didn't have any F's, because that's all they cared about. They didn't want parent conferences. They didn't want, any kind of issues going on at school. They knew I was doing all right. And yeah, I mean, the only reason I applied, because I went to CSUN for a year, the only reason I went there was because my sister went to college. And I mean, she went to UCLA, and I was like, well, she went to college, so I got to go to college. I didn't have any plan. I didn't have any kind of drive to do anything. I just knew I just, that's what you do.
Yeah.
You go to school, you have to graduate. There was no option of failing or dropping out. I knew I had to graduate, but like I said, my parents never said, you need to do this, you need to do that. I think their biggest concern was that I wasn't, gang related, and I didn't get arrested. I didn't get killed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's kind of, I had realistically, I had no goals.
Yeah.
I had no goals, no drive. And I had a kid at 22, and that became my motivation, and kind of where I said I need to do better for her. And that's what got me where I'm at now. But yeah, I mean, there was no long-term goal for me.
Yeah. So that's crazy how both of you kind of bring up the same thing, is that nobody's really, you grow up in other certain communities, and from the time you're born, it's education, it's going to college, you're going to go get your master's. In Pacoima, that's a lot of the parents, at least back then, I don't know if it's changed now, but that's the last thing on their mind. They don't care about you getting your master's or you becoming a PhD or whatever. They care about you surviving and you making it through high school. That's a success. You know what I mean? So
there is something also about being, because I'm the oldest, so there's no pressure in being the pioneer, sort of the family. You know what I mean? Where I don't have to look up to somebody and be like, oh, they did it, so I have to do it. It was more like, I'm going to go blind. Like I am, and it wasn't not even setting the bar. It was just like, okay, I'm going to go somewhere where nobody's gone before. And so, surviving one more day in college just meant I went farther than anybody else in our family had.
Yeah.
And so,
every day was a record.
And so that was something that I, could still be proud of. Like, okay, I'm going to make it. Okay. I'm here. I passed the class. Okay. I finished the semester. And so that was, I don't know, what that would have been like if I was younger. My sisters probably felt then, oh shoot, now I have to go to college, right?
You set that bar. Yeah. You set that bar pretty high.
I mean,
and
a few cousins have said, if not for you, I wouldn't have tried. And so, some of the really young cousins that I had, told me that. So, I like to think that, I know that influence, helped them. And so, again, I said being the pioneer, it took my mom and dad to graduate from high school first, right? That was a step that had to be made. Because then that they set that bar. So then I can get at least to that step.
Yeah.
And then they just help me, like just propel me up. That's how it should always be, right? So now my kids, not that they're getting any pressure. I have 3 kids. One's about to go to UCLA in the fall. And it's not about, thank you. So yeah, it's not about really putting pressure on him. You're going to do this and this. It's more like, okay, we got to this point. We showed you the way. This is sort of what
the blueprint. The blueprint's laid out. Yeah.
Go farther than that. Choose something else. Go do whatever you've ever dreamed of.
Kind of thing. I think Louis and I think we talked about that, how we said that, success to us is that our kids do better than us, and then
for sure,
success to them is that their kids, it's that's how it should be going. That's how you get out of certain situations. But
I also think as a person, like you're kind of supposed to do better than the generation before you.
Yeah.
Like I've done way better than my parents ever have.
Right.
And my kids are on track to do way better than I'm gonna do.
Right.
And then that's how you kind of establish it, and it makes it I don't want to say easier, but it's kind of the path, like you said, the path is laid out. You kind of see, but this is what you do, and you do more than that. Yeah, for sure.
It is technically easier. I mean, you are. I'm hoping I'm making it easier for my kids, and I hope they make. Yeah, it technically.
Oh, you have to for sure. Hell yeah.
Hey, Uncle Louis. Were your parents immigrants?
I don't know if you know. That's another thing. My dad's 104.
What?
Actually, he'll be 105 if he makes it to August. So he was born in San Fernando. And my mom is she's in her 80s, and she was an immigrant from Mexico.
Okay. So, but when was he born? Where was he born?
He was born in San Fernando.
He was born in San Fernando 105 years ago.
That's crazy, huh? And then he got deported on that repatriation. Yeah. Remember where they did that in the 40s or the 50s?
I think the 30s or something like that. I think it was like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
That's great. That's great. How that's like history.
Okay. All right. So tell me you have, as much recording of him and old photos as you can. Are you the family historian or?
No, I'm not. There's some pictures that I have, and there's some interviews that I've done in these like the last like 2-3 years.
Yes.
But I mean, his mind is still pretty sharp. But he tends to ramble. So you're kind of like, oh, you ask him a story and he'll start off sharp, and then it goes on to something else, and you're like, wait, that doesn't track, but okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But I wish I would have like 15 years ago, even 10 years ago, even like I wish I would have just asked some questions. But I mean, he's kind of
wow, that's amazing.
That's crazy.
That isn't okay. I don't know what's going on, Paul, with that cup, but it just got refilled like out of nowhere. Is that?
Like it's the magic. That's the magic of this set. We have a little helper named Dirty D who, as soon as I call her, I can't come off camera. She comes right out. Yeah,
I got nothing.
Looking around, what's going on?
Wow. Funny. So okay, 105. That's amazing. Dude, I want to go to that party. Is it going to be a party in August? Like,
I wish, man.
That's our great aunt, right? Aunt Sally is turning 100 in this month. Is it this month?
Next week.
So that's both of our grandmother's sister. So
that's
nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah, she's she's the oldest living family member that I know from our side. Unless,
I think so.
Paul, you know.
No.
But I guess no. Wait, Uncle Louis' dad is your. That
grandfather. Yeah. My grandfather.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm his uncle, even though I'm younger.
Yeah.
Because I'm the youngest of 11.
Wow. Okay. That's
my bad. The youngest of 9. My bad. I had a 2 for some reason. I'm the youngest of 9.
Crazy.
So yeah, that's why. Like his dad. I mean, technically, it could be my dad, age-wise.
Yeah.
Hey,
but he's my brother. He's my brother.
God bless your dad. He's got that Aguilar blood running through him. That's good.
Yeah, man.
He was repopulating. He took
your
job
dad. So your dad had you when he was 58,
59.
59.
Yeah, 59.
Oh wow! So I could still have kids then. All right, I'm still in.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you gotta be careful, Don.
Grandma is 25 years younger, though, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're right.
my mom was 36 when I was born, and he was 59.
50.
So like 23 years.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's crazy. All right, let's move on because that's insane. All right, let's do a little fun segment now. All right, Mark,
That is fun. What are you talking about?
I love
we're
this.
gonna we're gonna test your knowledge. All right, Mark. And
All
if
right.
he doesn't get it wrong, if he doesn't get it right, Louis, you could jump in if you want, if you know the answer. Okay, so this segment is how well do you really know your hood? And if there's any issues with these facts that they're not correct or whatever, take it up with the Pacoima Historical Society. That's right. That's right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was actually a nice page. I started reading it. I want to go back and finish reading it. But okay, first one. Where did the name Pacoima come from? Mark, do you know?
Yeah, it's a native name, and I'm trying to remember the name of the tribe. And it starts with a T. Yeah, not Tongan. It's but I think it means running waters or something like that.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, okay, so you're right. It does. That's good, bro. It does start with a T. Tata.
Oh, Tatavians. I think it's
Tatavians.
Yeah.
Tatavians. And the meaning of that, Tatavians, means people facing the sun. And the village, I guess, where they were staying, or their village, which is now Pacoima, was actually the Pacoinga, Pacoinga village. That was what it was called. And I guess that meant like something like entrance or enter, something like welcome or something like that. And that's what it meant, or at least according to the.
Okay, yeah. I've heard that.
Pacoima Historical Society. But okay, all right. Louis, did you know that?
I have heard about the. I've heard about the it means something about land of water or something. I've heard
Something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. Okay.
There's a couple murals on San Fernando Road that sort of honor that as well.
Yeah, by the 118, right?
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's okay. That was the second question.
That was question number 10.
Van Nuys Boulevard in Pacoima is known as what?
Yeah.
The Mural Mile. There you go. The Mural Mile, and like you were saying, known for all the mural. Oh, do they? And I guess it's a bunch of murals, paintings that celebrate area's cultural history.
Yeah, the main one
that was a layup.
The main one being the Danny Trejo one on Van Nuys.
Uncle Louie usually has it up there, don't you?
I had up on the
Oh, in the background?
On the last one, yeah.
Yeah, that was the last
background. All right, how about this? Pacoima is home. This one should be an easy one. Pacoima is home to the oldest restaurant in the valley. What's the restaurant? Oh, maybe not. Mark?
Lenchitas?
Louis?
Is it Windows?
Yeah.
Windows.
Oh, no. What's going on, Mark? My money was on you. All right.
You know what? That's a
Pacoima.
long shot. That's the only other restaurant I could think of. I'm like, that's the only one I know that's been around for long.
That's actually the oldest restaurant in LA, right? In the entire city.
It says the valley, but probably. Yeah. It says the valley, but
But a
maybe, I
restaurant
don't know.
meaning like the structure, right? The building, like
Yeah.
still
So it says
originally.
Pacoima is home to Wendell's, widely recognized as the oldest continuously operating restaurant in the San Fernando Valley. Originally opened in 1929 as a Southern fried chicken house.
Yeah,
It is
Wendell's Chicken.
It now uniquely serves a menu that blends fried chicken. So they still serve fried chicken and a Thai cuisine. It's
It's Thai food now. It's on San Fernando Road.
But you're right. I guess like the oldest structure or the old. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And last one. This one should be an easy one. Who is the most famous or well-known person from Pacoima, like celebrity-wise?
I mean, the obvious answer is Richie Valens. But like I said, like no,
wrong. It's his brother, Bobo.
It's not my first or my last.
No. It was me and Louis have a thing. We love that. It's not my not my first or my last.
yeah.
But no, you're right. It's obviously Richie Valens. But go ahead, because I have a couple other people. You were going to name some others.
George Lopez.
Yeah.
Charles White.
Yep.
I'm trying to think non-political. So Who else?
What about the homeboy from Friday?
Yeah, what's his name?
Jacob Vargas.
Jacob Vargas.
Oh, okay, yeah, he is.
The guy from that show, Pepe Plata. It was on Univision. He was from Puebla.
Now you guys are digging deep. Well, I had so Danny Trejo. Did you mention Danny Trejo? I think we mentioned him.
Yeah,
Bobby Chacon.
Oh, he's my cousin.
Oh, yeah.
That's your cousin.
Yeah,
Oh, you related to your mom, huh? That's
Yeah,
right. I heard that story. I heard that story.
Yes,
That's
so
crazy.
Bobby Chacon is my mom's first cousin, so it's my second cousin.
I heard.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy. Did you ever get to see him fight in person?
Not
too
in
young?
person, but we would go to his mom's house to watch all of the fights.
That's dope.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun because they had a pool like that. He bought her a big house in Lake Terrace before it was all developed. Before it got enveloped by Pacoima, it was actually a lot of they bought like a farm or not like a ranch.
They had a ranch, right? It was a ranch property.
So they had horses.
Yeah.
They had a giant pool. There was this big lot. I was really just too young to be into, to really remember all of that. But yeah, I should be ashamed that I didn't mention him. I was trying to be clever and mention somebody else, and I just forgot about him.
You did mention Charles White, also Anthony Davis.
Something about Charles White.
One of them won a Heisman. Yeah.
So that Heisman, the story that I heard, he's from the projects, and so after he won the Heisman, he gave it to his grandma who lived in the projects, and anybody who ever wanted to see it could just come into the project. So his grandma left the door open, so people could come in and see it.
That's pretty cool. I'm glad nobody stole it. Shit.
Yeah, no.
Hey, what about honorable mention, bro?
Okay, who?
What about my homeboy Wiz? You guys know little Gabriel?
Yes,
Gabriel
Pimentel, actor extraordinaire.
He was a little younger than me, but he went to Telfair. Where did he live? Do you know?
He lived 3 houses from my parents where I grew up. Yeah, I went to school with him. I had him for one year. I had him 1 class.
Wait, who is he? Who is he?
Gabriel, little Gabriel.
Yeah, he's Pacoima famous. He's a little person.
Yeah, bro. He's done a lot of stuff. I'll send you some of his work.
Okay, all right. Send
me Wiz.
What's his last name? What's Gabriel's last name?
Pimentel.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was a neighborhood.
Gabriel Pimentel.
He was a neighborhood celebrity.
He's been in a bunch of movies.
That's cool. Then also how you were saying non-political, but then political now. I mean, Alex Padilla and Luz Rivas.
Yeah, Luz Rivas. She grew up on Penny as well.
That's crazy.
I forget the cross street.
She ended up at MIT too, so that's a good little transition. Because Luz Rivas and Alex Padilla both went to MIT, both engineers. I mean, that's pretty crazy. And then that kind of leads us to your story. Out of Pacoima, obviously that magnet, you obviously tore it up, you aced it, and you decided to take your talents to Boston University.